Thanks y'all for joining. This is our very first time doing a Wiza webinar, let alone a webinar about Monitor. So just to kick things off, I don't want to be talking to myself. It is very awkward, very strange. It is not my favorite thing. I know the chat's disabled, but feel free to communicate through the Q&A. I'll keep my eyes on it. I've got a couple of folks from Wiza here who can help answer as we go. But by all means, we should be like chatting with each other. Keep me posted on how things are going. This version of the demo is geared towards you guys. So folks on Teams plans, folks who are working as a group, more of our B2B customers who are using Wiza at larger scale, higher volume. So that's why you guys were like the selected group invited to this. Everything we talk about today will be geared towards y'all. I'll go through some of the setup for Monitor, what it looks like, and then I'll actually walk you through my instance and what my Monitor version looks like. I use Monitor all the time. If you are somebody who I talk to regularly, you are probably in my Monitor account. I've reset it for the purpose of this meeting. I'll show you in just a second what my section looks like now. But let's get into it. So, uh, three ways that people are primarily in Monitor. I work with a lot of marketing teams. I work with a lot of recruiting teams. I mostly work with a lot of sales teams. So the folks who are in Wiza day in, day out, these are the values that Monitor is delivering to them. As far as marketing teams go, keeping up with campaigns, being able to target the right people, making sure that the effort you're putting into those campaigns are getting to the right people. That's where I see a lot of marketing teams really own Wiza Monitor and use it for those target account groups. If you fall into that category, this is where like your driving pipeline. So when you're thinking about Wiza Monitor, when I'm showing you kind of what we're going through today, my account is primarily sales driven. I'm in a sales role, but for marketing people, that's where I see a lot of value. Recruiting, super similar. Keeping up with those ATS systems that you got, a little bit of a headache. Following up with where people placed, little bit of a headache. Instead of reactively doing that every Friday to 5 to 6 hours, I've seen recruiting teams really win at this because those activities are happening proactively, either directly into their CRM, directly through Slack, or directly through their email. So anytime you've spent kind of making sure your data is accurate on the recruiting side, that's how you can think about Wiza Monitor. As far as sales teams goes, I think it's pretty clear. It's all about account management. So everything from the opportunities that it's uncovering to the risks that it's uncovering. If you're somebody on our AE team, you've got all your friends in there. Everybody who's been a buyer in the past, everybody who's a champion. Monitoring those people in Wiza shows you opportunities when those doors open up elsewhere. If you're on the post-sale sides like I am, when people leave roles and your champions go missing, that indicates a churn risk. So depending on where you are in this kind of grand spectrum of different roles, these are the ways that I've seen people use Wiza today. And this is what I'll talk you through when I show you my instance. Now, taking a step back, let's talk about actually setting it up, because I think in a good chunk of yours is accounts, it's not there yet. Right now you log in, you see this beautiful demo video. That's great. If we were to add the Monitor credits, you've got a couple of different ways you can actually add contacts. So it's going to show you two ways in the beginning. One is to upload a CSV. This one's a fan favorite. People take everybody who they have, all their different lists, they put it into one CSV, and they'll upload that to Wiza. It's very similar to in Prospect when you are uploading a bulk group of companies. It's very similar to when you're creating a list and you're uploading a group of CSVs through that. And then there's also the CRM option, where if this list already exists, let's say in your HubSpot, in your Salesforce, you already have these people identified, you can bring them in that way too. So when you're first hopping into Monitor and you're asked to add your contacts, these are the two options it gives you. And I will say that I think that's a lie. We actually have a couple more ways you can add people to Monitor, and that's adding them directly from a list. So if you've already processed these lists before in Prospect through Sales Navigator, whatever it is that kind of use those export credits, you can also add those lists directly to Monitor this way. So instead of hopping out of those lists, exporting those lists, pulling them into your CSV, pulling them back, you can skip these steps and do it from a list that you already have. You could also add individual people directly from the LinkedIn Chrome extension with the Add to Wiza button that you'll find on the right-hand side. And then you can also add people through prospects. So it's a little bit small here, but if I zoom in, you'll see one of these buttons is also Add to Monitor. So it's not 2 ways, it's 5 ways. There's 2 main ways, and that's going to be the CSV or CRM integration. But adding people, you can do basically all sorts of ways. If you can reveal someone's email there, you probably can email them or you can add them to Monitor there. So if you're looking to get started, if you've got a couple of folks in mind, if there's a group of folks you want to test, this is the best way to pop them in. When you do that, one of the things that you can do is add tags to these people. So if you are across teams, if you have people who are both buyers and you've got people who are your champions, you've got people who are strong prospects who you want to kind of follow and track over the next couple of months, you can tag all of those people so that once you've uploaded everyone into Wiza Monitor, you can go through and then filter by those folks. So just another way to stay organized. The same way that you've got folders under lists within Wiza where you can have the option to stay more organized if you're more of like a type A person like I am, you can. You don't have to. If this helps you, amazing. If this doesn't help you, you can skip this step and just move on and say, these are the folks I'm monitoring, no problem. But these filters are ones that you'd be able to come to later, be able to use, be able to actually filter through. I'm a big fan. Not everyone's a big fan. I love a good tag. When everyone's in there, once they're all uploaded, once you've got the tags, this is where the magic really happens. It's in the proactiveness of Wiza Monitor. So I don't live in my Wiza Monitor page ever, unless I'm making updates to Wiza Monitor, unless I'm adding new people. I'm rarely in the Wiza Monitor page because it's just rolling in the back for me. I love the CRM integration. We'll talk about this a bit more in a second. But if you have that CRM integration already built into your instance, there's nothing really to do here other than turn it on. That CRM integration is automatically going to push people from Wiza Monitor into your CRM with those updates that you've previously configured. Now, if you don't have your CRM configured, let me know. We can hop on a call. We can help you set it up. But for HubSpot, for Salesforce, for Pipedrive, all of these are out of the box and it's going to make those changes for you. So when people switch roles, instead of me going in there and saying like, oh, Jonathan's been promoted to this new role, thank you Wiza Monitor, let me now go update this. Wiza Monitor is doing that for you. So it's making those automatic changes. And you can see that. The same way in Wiza, you can see the little updated HubSpot markers. You'll see those in Wiza Monitor as well. So the integration, it's already happening. That source of truth, it's already updated. So you don't need to worry about that here. There is also a Slack integration. This one is also an easy way of creating like an alert system for your team. So whereas the CRM integration is doing a really good job keeping that data updated, making sure that your team knows what's happening would be really easy to do in Slack. In this example, there's a separate channel created. I think this is really smart. You'd add folks in here. They'd be able to click on these links, either the person's link, the role's link, it'll take them to that LinkedIn. But this way, that weekly digest is being delivered somewhere that people work and go to and are regularly visiting so that they've got the alerts there. If job title changes aren't necessarily what you're looking for, you can turn that off and only have company changes. All of this lives in your settings. So you're able to go in and configure this how you want. Personally, my favorite, it's the email alerts. You get these once a week. It's on Mondays. You can see here the last, I don't know, 10 weeks of alerts that I've gotten, with quite a couple of changes every single week, the most being this one for 26 changes. Email alerts are my favorite because instead of me going in there and finding these folks and going through it, proactively letting me know an email allows me to pop open my own email to send these people congratulations notes, notes to like ask them kind of how their new jobs are going, what the new roles are happening. So because I have those templates pre-built in my Gmail, it's really easy for me to scroll through that email and be like, hey, amazing, Kelly, like congrats on the new role, let's talk. So I prefer the email alerts, but you can do it through Slack. You can do it through your CRM integration. And then of course you could always visit your Wiza Monitor page if you would like. Like I said, it's not my favorite. I don't live in that. I don't like having extra tabs open. And because of the way Wiza Monitor works, I don't have to. Now, let's actually look at my Wiza Monitor instance. Before I dive in there, I will say I erased everybody I had previously, and instead I uploaded all of the folks who are going to be on this call today. So if you registered for this, if you're here right now, if you're somebody who's going to be watching the recording later, you're in here. So we can check your recent job changes, your recent company changes. Right now, I have mine set to be monitoring 20. So I think it's more than 27. I think I've got like 44 people in here. Um, but 27 over the last 90 days, contacts changed, etc. This is showing me that in the last 90 days, because that's the filter that I've set here, these are the people who have changed their positions or their titles or something in some sort of way. Looks like June, July. So, Robbie, congrats on moving from BDR to account executive. If you're here, Anthony, looks like you've made a quite little change in your title as well. Maddie from our team moved from SDR to work with our API side. These are all alerts that I've gotten. Here are all of the updates to that person's email address, the phone numbers that was found. And then by hitting the sync button, I can make those changes in our CRM because I already have that CRM integrations downloaded and well. I've got it set to job changes right now. If I turn on company changes as well, you can see now that that includes the company changes over the last 90 days. So looking through here, Farhan, welcome to Wingmate. I didn't realize you were so new when we did our demo together, but looks like he's recently moved into a new role. Karen, welcome to AC Staffing. I can see in the last 90 days all of these changes. This to me is showing me different opportunities. It's showing me different risks that have happened. It's giving me reasons to congratulate, talk to, interact with different folks. Alexandra, looks like you started something new in July. Amazing. I think we are still at Escape. So just if you're on this call, if you work with people in EMEA, Alexandra's an amazing marketing person to partner with. Looks like she maybe has started a new, yeah, looks like she's got a new position going too. So again, this is just stuff that Monitor's revealing to me. I can check here. I would be getting these alerts via email, and Monday morning when I'm going through with a coffee, this is what my day looks like. Now, if you're not on here, that's okay. That just means that something hasn't changed in the last 90 days over a job or company. I can check all contacts too. So if you're somebody I didn't call out, in this case, like let's look at Logan on our team, who used to be at Vanta till December and then joined us over here in Wiza. It's not 90 days ago, but I can see the last change that happened in Logan's time. Josh, I've got you. Casey, hello. I'm just scrolling through here. This one's kind of funny. I've got Steven. So Wiza looks like May 2019 is Wiza's conception because I see moving from guest log over to Wiza. Zach, we were just talking, right? You are going on what, 7 years over? So this is just one way that I have taken everybody from a CSV that I downloaded from Zoom, downloaded that, uploaded it by hitting the add contacts button. This is the screen that we saw earlier in ways to begin. Right here, the 2 ways. I picked CSV, push that in here. Wiza let me know once we were done. And if you notice when I'm in Wiza Monitor, it's saying that there were 2 people missing. I'm able to go in here and see if anybody errored out, if Wiza wasn't able to find somebody, anything like that, and self-manage these folks too. So I think I uploaded 40 something folks. 2 of y'all we weren't able to find, but it's Sharon, for example, if I had your LinkedIn, I could just drop the URL in here. So we're going to look for LinkedIn URLs for the most part, having the person's name, having their domain, having their email, incredibly helpful. The LinkedIn URL becomes Wiza's source of truth to track those changes. So Sharon, if you're here, if you want to give me your LinkedIn URL, I would drop it into this area, then I would hit manually link, and you would then move from this missing contact down into my contacts. Right now it says no recent changes found because August, I guess, was a slower month for this group. But if I drop to my last 90, that's where I'm seeing changes here. If I had significantly more people here, like I typically do in my Wiza account, the last 7 days would be showing me that information. I could download that information using this download button here, or any of these to get more granular into just company changes, title changes, or monitored changes. The alerts that we were talking about, those just live next to the button right here. So my Slack alerts need to be connected to Slack. My email already will go to the email that I use to log into Wiza. And then the CRM integration lives just right here. I keep talking about how I used to have these contacts in Monitor. That's because at any time you can also reset your Monitor. That's what I did yesterday to get you folks in here today. So while you're uploading people, if you're like, oh, get rid of that person, delete this person, actually, let's start brand new, you can do that as well. So if you're going through and you're willing to kind of just give it a test, like drop a couple of names in there, try any of these ways of uploading folks, you can. And then you can always reset and give it a real go. Here's how I would have added somebody through from, let's pick this person over here. Through the Chrome extension. It's this button right over here, add to monitor. You can see here I added her and it's successfully added. Now if I go into my dashboard, looks like it's processing her here. Once it's done, I'll be able to go and we could see the last time that Giovanna moved roles, which looks like recently. Looks like she recently was promoted into a different role. Oh no, that's a certification. Either way, it'll give me an alert of the last time that it happened. Let's exit out of this and take just one more peek at our different filters. So these are the filters that I have alerts or that I have configured into my account. When you go through and you're creating these different lists, so if I were to upload a different CSV, and let's just drop this one in here for the sake of, let's drop an email. There we go. Under this configure section is where these tags get created and added. These are the tags that I already have created for myself, but if I wanted to create a new one, let's say webinar attendees. This is where I would do it. Hit create tag. There it is. I could select up to 3. So maybe I'm picking these 3 over here. And then now when I hit next, I'll be able to have those tags populate on these people who I've selected. And then when I'm in Monitor and I've got those people tagged, I'd be able to go through and search through those tags under the filtered search section. I will pause there because that was quick and just go through the questions if there are any under the Q&A. So give me one sec to jump on in. Okay, cool. I don't see any questions right now, but if we have any, now is a really good time to pop them into the chat so that we can answer live for everybody as we're going through. My Wiza Monitor, like I said, is currently set to just y'all, but if I were to add more people, if I wanted to go back, these lists that I've created, right now we're looking at quite a couple of examples I've run through, but if these are folks who I wanted to add, again, instead of doing the export here, instead of pushing these contacts to my HubSpot and then pulling them in, it's this add list to monitor button that would make that really simple. So let me just grab one of these lists. I'll pick this one with one contact. Hitting add list to monitor over here is the button that's going to make it happen. Mine looks like it's glitching out a little bit at this moment, but that's okay. There we go. Keep contacts. Yep. I don't need this message again. Hit continue. And now I can add those tags. Let's say these are testing tags. Hit next. And now it's going through that. Just like when you're doing a list in Wiza, you don't need to live in Wiza and keep the screen open or, stay put. You can get up, walk away, go get coffee. Wiza's still going to alert you. So you get those alerts when you end up pulling a list in Wiza and it's done. You also get the alerts when Monitor is done. So you'll get an email saying, hey, we found everybody good to go. If we jump in here now, we should see whoever that one person is, who I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we will find out. Oh, let's see. Question. No questions. Just love being added to monitors. No, amazing. I'm happy to add you. I'll keep you in there. Let's see. My monitor is glitching. I've got just a couple, probably too many accounts open, so that's a Vinova problem. Again, no recent changes because nothing exciting happened to you folks in August. But if I were to open up those changes to earlier, here are the changes there. We can see here, Robbie, because I pressed you earlier to sync you to my HubSpot, you've got that little check going on. Anybody else who would like to sync, let's say Maddie, I just hit that sync button. It's happening in the back. She now will have that check mark as well moving forward. Not having the chat or the ability for you guys to talk makes it so bizarre. That is something I'm gonna have to fix for next time. Um, I will keep my eyes peeled for questions. However, in the meantime, I know in the original email that I sent you guys, I talked about trial credits for Wiza. We still have them. They're still up and running. We're still having conversations with people pretty regularly about how they're using Monitor because it's new. I love hopping on these calls to see how it's working out for different folks. I recently found out that like one of my favorite people were retiring from the company, was able to like send her retirement flowers just because she was such a great partner for a couple of years. I found out all of that through Wiza Monitor. It's just like one of the ways that I've really enjoyed using it myself as somebody on the post sales side in things. I get to work with people like you every day. We build these great relationships. And then you guys run away. And I never know until it's too late and I'm there mourning. This was probably the first time I wasn't like mourning somebody leaving a company and losing touch with them because was a monitor told me. She didn't move anywhere new, so I couldn't take that as like an opportunity to our sales team and be like, hey, this person's such a fan, somebody go contact them here now that they've got new budget. But it was a good chance to be like, hey, you were great. You deserve to have pina coladas on the beach. Here's an orchid. So that's just one way that I've used it. I continue every day to like find different ways that this has really truly benefited myself in this role. It's why I'm a big advocate of Wiza Monitor. I think that not enough CSMs are using it. So I know that most of us are on that pre-sales, marketing, recruiting, like up until contract side. But if you got friends over on this side, send them my way because I would love to find some new CSM folks that I could like bring into my corner here to get the same value that I'm getting. But yeah, in that email, I think we talked about trial credits. Feel free to throw some of those trial credits over to your post sales friends if you are so inclined to. Happy to get anybody situated and started. Just shoot me an email. Happy to get you started, happy to set you up, happy to make sure everything is squared away in your account, including things like the integration. I've got time if you've got time. I will send the recording with my email. You can totally respond to that as well.